One of the most striking parts of today's January 6th testimony concerned the threats and intimidation people faced. Do you know why? Because they went to work. They did their jobs. Watch this.
They have had video panel trucks with videos of me proclaiming me to be a pedophile and a pervert and a corrupt and politician.
Wishing death upon me, telling me that, I'll be in jail with my mother, and saying things like, be glad it's 2020 and not 1920.
I was getting texts all over the country, and then eventually my wife started getting the text, and hers typically came in as sexualized texts, which were disgusting.
You committed treason. May God have mercy on your soul, with a slowly twisting gif of a noose. And for lack of a better word, I lost it.
The committee also included video of angry Trump supporters showing up at the homes of public officials to demand a different, fraudulent election outcome. Let's discuss. Al Franken, Michael Steele, still with us. Mr. Steele, I turn to you first. We have now witnessed what the web of Trump lies does to people. I want to share some of Professor Jason Johnson's reaction, how he felt about what some of these poll workers are experiencing.
You know what happens to people on the Supreme Court when they get threatened? They get security paid for by the Senate, but not regular black people who are just doing their jobs, not people who have lost their name, the ability to go to the grocery store, the ability to just live their regular lives, for having the audacity to stand against the white nationalist coup that masquerades as the Republican Party.
Michael, put politics and policy aside. Shouldn't common human decency be a core principle that all of us should follow?
Damn, Stephanie,
these women can't go to the grocery store.
You asking way too much, girl. Come on now. Come on, stop it. I mean, this is not what our politics is about today. I mean, we know. We've watched it eat people alive. We've watched it eat men and women who try to serve the public good. We've watched it eat men and women up who don't have fancy titles but are just workaday folks, right? As we've seen from the testimony. So this is the corrosive nature of our politics. These very same people who are out here, threatening and, doing this in the name of God, these good God-fearing Christians are the first ones to find the rope for the noose, are the first ones to come up in your face with a gun to threaten you, to threaten your family, to sexualize your behavior as a pedophile. It is corrosive. It is the worst of the underbelly of our country. And I think Dr. Jason Johnson, put his finger right on the heart of it. And the question becomes ultimately, well, how do we respond to it as citizens? Right now, everyone's kind of like, oh, okay, what do I do with this? Well, you've got to step into it is what you got to do. And I don't know if people really want to. We're here because this is where we want to be. When we don't want to be here any longer, we move on, right? That's the way it's supposed to work. But as I just said in the last segment, Stephanie, there's an election in November, and what are the polls showing you? That people are more concerned about their self-interest than they are about the democracy. And they're fretting about things that are important, but I'm telling you, when they strip away your right to vote, your right to freely assemble, and the other rights that you enjoy, and I tell all the Trump people this time and time again, don't think they're not coming for you at some point, because you're just a means to an end. And when you are no longer of use to them, Josh Hawley, and company, guess what happens to you? Just ask Mo Brooks what happens to them. He lost his primary tonight because Trump unendorsed him because he didn't like something he said. Seriously, people, get a grip.
Al, you've experienced firsthand what it's like when they come for you. You know what a smear campaign does. Mm-hmm. How did it make you feel to watch this, that the President of the United States reached all the way down to a poll worker and then had her life terrorized?
Giuliani called Ruby Freeman a professional vote scammer and hustler.
She was giving her mom a mint. She was exchanging a mint with her daughter.
This is, again, I go back to Ludwig and clear and present danger. This is brown shirts is what we're looking at when these mobs come for people. And that's what, actually we had a guy, Camp Auschwitz sweatshirt. We had the Confederate flag. I mean, this is kind of what the Republican Party, a lot of, not Michael's Republican Party, but a lot of the Republican Party now has become. And that's what Ludwig was talking about.
Did you think when you left office, did you think we'd end up here?
It wasn't this bad when I left office, but I do take your point about smear campaigns.
I want to share another person involved in this today, Ron Johnson. And I want to share a bit of this. Watch this.
How much did you know about what your chief of staff was doing with the alternate slates of electors? No, you're not. I can see your phone. I can see your screen.
Oh, that's great.
Ron Johnson was faking being on the phone because he doesn't want to answer questions.
That's, I used to actually make fun of senators who did that because every once in a while you don't want to answer questions. So I used to go around like this.
I'm on one.
I know, I did this.
You did this?
Yeah, I would go like I'm on the phone, and then if I saw Tester, I'd go, hey, John, give me a call. And, but this is ridiculous what he was doing. But they finally got to talk to him, and he said, like, oh, I didn't know anything about it. And my chief of staff did it without my knowing. No chief of staff goes to hand the vice president fake elector, a list of fake electors without asking their boss. That's ridiculous.
Okay, that's blaming a chief of staff. Michael, we heard from a former Trump employee who said, I was just used as a useful idiot. This is the same argument other ones are using. Oh, it got so crazy, but I'm on Team Normal. What do you make of this? There's no Team Normal.
No, there's no Team Normal, and you weren't a useful idiot. You were a willing participant. You did it because you believed the grift, you believed in the lie, and you believed in the man who is at the center of all of this. And the reality of it is accountability, accountability, accountability. And at some point, this country has to hold these suckers accountable. You just do. And it goes back to what Al was saying in the last segment. The telltale signs are there. The law is laid out. We've seen the evidence. As you noted, Stephanie, 17, 18 months later, a book deal and all kinds of interviews, and we still have not seen justice even come close to the neighborhood, let alone the doorstep of these individuals. And so I think we need to be clear about accountability here.
I could talk about this all night, but I got a phone call, so I
got one too.